I am here with Cheryl Becker, and she is the president of eCreateStitches. And not only is she a seamstress, but she's got 5 kids. So I want to know, how do you stay clutter free and how do you stay organized and run a business and a household and all the things? So please help me welcome Cheryl Becker. So tell me about the patterns. So you make original patterns. This is what you do now. You sell patterns. Where do you sell them?
It's all mostly it's digital patterns,
Uh-huh.
so people can print them from home.
How do you print a digital pattern from home? Like, how I'm thinking old fashioned patterns that you lay on the table and they're big.
You print them on your regular computer paper, 8.5 by 11, and then tape the pages together. It's all in order. They all have numbers. They're all numbered. You tape those all together, and there's your pattern.
Huh. That's really interesting.
And then I also sell printed ones. We just get them printed as somebody purchases,
Uh-huh.
and then it gets shipped to their house. Yeah.
So like print on
Mhm.
demand
Yeah.
patterns. Really? I did not know that was a thing.
I don't know if it is a thing, but that's how we do it.
Well, I love that for this reason. Every time that we create something in our society, especially like with printing patterns, there's a print cost and there's a labor cost and there's a press cost and there's a paper cost and a packaging cost. And then there's a stashing, storing, inventory, and marketing cost. There's a whole lot going on there. And so if you are
Mhm,
doing print on demand and you had a pattern, nobody's going to all that work and that labor unless a sale has been made. So I love that.
mhm.
And then what you
Yeah.
just said about taping the pages together, I didn't think about it, but how inventive is that? Because then you're only using the paper that you need for the specific pattern you're creating. And I can't tell you
Yeah.
how many patterns I've bought over the years. And they're expensive. If you're going to make it, that's awesome. But if you're not going to make it and you're just buying the pattern because it looks cool on the picture, which I'm guilty of doing, right? What are some of the lessons that you've learned being in business for yourself and knowing that you had to live a clutter-free life in order to maintain your creativity and keep on focus?
I know I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself, and when I was, like, really low and I knew I needed to make some changes so that I could actually cope and keep up, was watching a video, and this lady was talking about getting a routine, and that just clicked with me because here I thought I needed to have, like, schedules and things written out so that I would stay organized, and I knew they didn't work for me. Like, I knew that having a schedule that I had to stick to just wasn't it didn't make sense in my brain. And so this routine thing, for some reason, it just clicked. And so that's one thing I've learned is there's so many different ways of looking at things and of doing things that I need to find my own to where it makes sense for me and for my brain.
When you try a routine, do you just do the same thing over and over and over every day? And then if it's not working, you just tweak one of the things that you're doing until it kind of fits in and it's more organic?
Yeah, basically, I kind of went through it. What am I already doing? And realizing that is actually a routine that I have that I didn't know I had. And then it's like, okay, I can do this. It kind of empowered me to just make a routine for this part of my day so that it can go smoother for me.
And running a family of 5 kids, I know that there have to be routines in place in order for everybody to get fed and take their baths and get off to school and all the things. So I love the fact that in the midst of all of that, you found a way to carve out some time to run a business as well. That's really empowering.
Yeah, it feels amazing, really, because it's not like it was a huge dream of mine, but it just started to work, started to fall into place.
So, what advice would you give to a small business owner? Maybe they're not a seamstress, but they are working out of their house and they're trying to put their routines together. What advice would you give them as far as either sticking with a routine that's not working or trying to change it up?
I guess to explore the different options or different goals that they have. What are they hoping to gain or what are they hoping to keep in order?
And that's really important because a lot of people get up and they go through their day kind of drifting aimlessly. And there is no question about what does the end of my day look like. At the end of my day, what did I hope I accomplished? And I love that you brought
Mhm,
that up because if you start your day with the end in mind and you say, hey, by the end of today, here's what I must get done, you can work your way backwards and know that this has to happen and this has to happen. And just like getting the kids out the door to school, before that happens,
mhm.
they've got to have their homework, they've got to be dressed, they've got to have food, if they're taking lunch, they gotta have their lunches. When they get home, there's a certain series of things that have to happen. I love that. That's really important. Begin with the end in mind. During the day, let's say that somebody gets sidetracked. What do? And you specifically have moved on the outskirts of your property. where you said, I'm not distracted to go do my laundry. What happens to the people
Mhm.
that are working inside the house and they are distracted and they wander through the kitchen and they just randomly, aimlessly open up the fridge looking for new treats? They're distracted by anything that is happening in the house while they're there.
To me, a to-do list that is very simple, has very few tasks on it so that it's manageable. I think that could really help to keep them motivated. And that's also the beauty of the routines is that some of these things can actually get done throughout so that it's not as much of a distraction.
Mhm. So, would you suggest, being a mother, that you build the distractions into the routine? Like dinner has to be fixed at a certain time. So maybe during the day at a certain time, you run in and you throw some stuff in the crock pot, and that is part of the routine, meaning that there will be dinner tonight. And so while it seems
Mhm.
like it's a distraction, it's actually part of the routine in order to get from point A to point B through the end of the day.
Yes. Part of my routine has also to make a simple menu for the week so that I know what I'm going to be making for meals. And that's not a distraction to me all day long because I already know in the morning what I'm going to be making at night for the meal. And that way it isn't a distraction anymore. It's not taking any space in my brain of, okay, what am I going to make? What am I going to make?
So you've kept the decision simple. And I hear this throughout everything that you've said so far. I decided that I was going to only create dresses. And so I let the
Mhm.
quilting go. And now I'm
Mhm.
deciding that this is what I'm going to fix for the entire week. Therefore, I'm not going to be distracted by other meals and other options and trying to figure out and reinvent the wheel at every meal. This is the menu.
Mhm.
This is the schedule. I love that. That's keeping it really simple. Well, thank you for sharing this with us today. I'm going to leave links in the notes as well to your stitches.com pattern. I hope you guys, if you're not seamstresses, I hope you guys reach out to friends of yours that are and make sure they get a free pattern because I think that it would be awesome if Cheryl's dresses were made. I think that would be so awesome.